everyone, welcome to the Crafty Maven Getaway. Today is Scraplift Saturday where I, Desiree's Scrapbook Nook, will scraplift a layout. Today I'm going to scraplift the amazing, talented Victoria Marie. I love her style. I love everything she pretty much does. So let's go ahead and get started. I am showing you that I'm using a company called Little Yellow Bicycle. I don't think they're around anymore. I think they were around just for a very short time. However, I loved their style. The collection I'm using is Fern and Forest. I only have a few bits and pieces from them, just a few papers, and then 2 sticker sheets. And after I did this layout, and I was going through my room to create another layout, I actually found some tags, some journaling tags. So that's all I had, and when I have very little of a collection, I like to pull in the most colorful pattern paper. So this is the one I'm going to use. This way I can pull from my stash with any different products and other collections and brands. And so that's what I'm going to do. Now, I did make... You are going to see some variation from her layout to mine, but pretty much the actual design concept is going to be the same, meaning she has a triangle, she has a horizontal strip at the bottom, and yeah, so those things are going to be the same, however everything else is going to be different. So I'm using 2 photos, and there is a sticker that you were just seeing me kind of going, hey, wait a minute, this is a 12 by 12 sticker sheet, and that would be perfect. Instead of using a branding strip, I could use this sticker, and that's what I'm going to do. So here's the triangle, and man, if I had a working sewing machine, I probably would have stitched it. I love layouts that have sewing on it, and you know, I took mine in and I paid $50 for it to get fixed, and it works, but it doesn't work on paper, and I don't know if I need a new needle. I don't know if I need a new machine, but I definitely wish I could have just taken that money and actually got a different one because it's been handed down to me, but oh well, moving on. So here is that sticker, and it says, "A boy's story is the best that is ever told," and it couldn't ring more true, at least in my situation for my son. My daughter, she was always very good. She didn't ever really do anything mischievous, but this little guy, oh, I could go on and on for days about him. And this is one of those days. So I backed up the 2 photos on white cardstock, and then I took another one of a pattern paper. It was like a cream and white chevron, and backed that up for another mat to go around the photos. And speaking of, let me see where I'm at and if it's a good spot. Oh, so, you know, here's some of those, here are some of those products I was telling you about. Whoops, I didn't know my wine glass was in there. Okay, so it made a little appearance, but hey, Victoria Marie, cheers to you. She always talks about wine, and so it couldn't be more fitting, I guess, in this layout or this situation of a process video. But here I used a tab punch, and I created a tab just like her, and I took another sticker and it says silly, and I added a couple staples to it. I love staples on a layout. I definitely think they add a lot of texture, some dimension, just a really great embellishment to add on to any layout. Earlier I said how I could dress up that triangle was by sewing on it. Now I decided to do something a little different that I've never done before. I thought about doodling on it around that triangle, and then I had this baker's twine, and every time I use baker's twine, it's always the same thing. I'm making a banner, or I'm using it for a bow or a tag, and I thought, what if I outline the triangle? And I actually love how it turned out. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with using some tacky glue. And I'm just going to have that going around the triangle. And this is kind of a good point to talk to you a little bit about those photos. So my son was always a little mischievous kid, and he was always attached to the hip with me. And when we were at Home Depot, I looked away for a second. Next thing you know, I didn't see him. But yet I heard him. So I wasn't panicking too much. But I was like, where'd he go? Because he hasn't left the aisle, and the aisles are large. So you know what I mean? And so there was this shower door display, and it was a triangle, which is funny because I'm using triangles in this layout, and it was completely enclosed. So it had a ton of different shower doors that you could pick from if you're remodeling a bathroom. And because he was so little, how he got inside was crawling through the shower door. And it was hilarious. At first I panicked, like I said, a little bit because, I mean, I didn't panic too much because I heard him, but still, when you don't see him, your heart kind of just drops for a second. But I cracked up when I realized that he was in this display. And so my husband and I couldn't fit in it. We're like, you have to crawl out to get out of it. But he was just having a field day, thinking it was like a little fort or, you know, a little house, playhouse structure. And yeah, so that quote from Charles Dickens, like I said, couldn't be more perfect. So now that I went and outlined it, I mean, look at it. Doesn't it look awesome? And now I'm going to take a die that's a tag, because you know I love my tags. And I'm going to use the 6x6 paper pad by Cool Kid and create a tag so that way I could start creating a embellishment cluster right there. I did use some more of that baker's twine at the end of the tag. I'm going to cut down the string a little bit because it was hanging over the quote and I wanted to keep it away from the quote so that way you could read it. Next I grabbed a pinking die, and that was from Nestabilities. I love that die. And I'm using another sheet of Cool Kid. It's the one where it has words and the definition on it. And I was kind of figuring out where did I want, like what words I wanted to include and how much of it I wanted you to be able to read it. And so I put it away because I was getting a little overwhelmed because I kind of liked them all, and took the sticker sheet from the Fern and Forest collection, and I thought those words that say hide and seek couldn't be more perfect because he pretty much was playing hide and seek. Next I grabbed from the Cool Kid, because now I'm just at this point trying to build up my layers. I took the little square or rectangle that says B, and you know, B for boy, but also our last name, so it's fitting. And I'm going to adhere that with some foam adhesive. That way it gives a little bit of dimension and some shadow. Now I also wanted to back it up, the foam adhesive, on that pinking die, and then the words I end up using to make sure that they fit into that pink circle was the word that says kid, and it says apple of your eye, best decision ever made, and make believe, being the knight in shining armor, because he was the best decision I've ever made. And that make believe word definitely suits my son. He has such, I mean, he's 9 now and he still has that imagination play. He just loves to be playing any game or anything, and it's mostly creative, you know, imagination games that he makes up with all his neighborhood friends. So here I am starting to build that layers up again, like I said. I'm adding that pinking die, and then I'm going to go ahead and add some enamel dots, and those are going to be by Doodlebug. And then here I come back with that tab, and I'm going to start adhering that tab down. And let's see, what else am I doing? I didn't cut out any of this video. I've been doing that a lot lately, which has been awesome because, for one, I get it down to the time that I like. I try to keep them under 14 minutes, so usually around 12. But because I want to make sure I have enough time to talk to you guys about my thought process while I'm creating a layout. And I'm getting in a habit of stopping the camera when I'm trimming, paper trimming, or I'm using adhesive, so that way I'm not boring you guys. And so that way when it comes to editing, I don't even have to cut anything out, and I like that. I think the hardest part for me is editing and voiceover. Oh my gosh, sometimes I will go and do like 50 million, not 50 million, but it seems like 30 voiceovers over and over again, and I hate that. So here I go with the title, and the title is gonna read, I Bet They Can't Find Me. I just thought that was a very playful and fun title. I'm using Studio Calico. These stickers are really old. In fact, I remember when I bought them on 2Ps how customers were saying in the forum how when you try to peel them, the sticker was actually sticking to the paper. And I had them in several colors, and the ones that I tried, I was like, oh, they work fine. And it was these ones that customers were talking about. And so unfortunately I had to, and I think I stopped the camera so I don't bore you guys, but I have to stick every single one using some tacky glue because there was just nothing but paper on them. So, and then that other were stickers that I spell the word me and the exclamation. Those are just by American Craft, and they are called Charm. And that's it, guys. I just want to thank you so much for joining us here at the Crafty Maven Getaway. I hope I inspired you. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the Crafty Maven. There is a ton of inspiration daily. There's an amazing design team. And if you like more of my style and like what I do, go ahead and look at the description box, and there is a link to my personal channel. And thank you so much for joining us, and you all have an amazing day. Bye!